Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Kill Your Lover. A weird independent film about a very toxic relationship that then has physical toxic traits. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 14 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free, Little Joe. So, the idea behind the film is relationships are so toxic, a relationship so toxic that it actually embodies something physical. So, it starts, of course, with the man. And he starts to, I don't know, he gets covered by this weird stuff that infects the woman, and then I think they kill everyone around them. Like an EMT comes and some other guy comes. This is like weird growth, and then they end up in a battle with each other as they all have the growth on them. You know, it's very strange. Written, let's see if I can read these credits. Written and produced and directed by Alex Austin and Keir Stewart. Sywert? Are they the stars? No, it's different people. So yeah, about a toxic relationship called Kill Your Lover. I'm not really sure why you would make a movie like this. Like, I guess they're going. I mean, you could see she's got it too. She's got the same sort of weird growth. It's not aliens. No, it's not. It's not something supernatural. It's embodying the toxic relationship. But yeah, I don't. You know, it's kind of like hitting you over the head with a hammer. You know, in terms of the concept, it's like it's too much. I think it's too on the nose. It's like a horror movie about a toxic relationship. Well, if you want to make a horror movie, I guess. I mean, you could have maybe thrown in like a tiki idol or a ancient curse or something like that. Might have sold it to me, but that doesn't appear to be the case. And again, it appears to be more coming from the man than the woman, which, yeah, if you're going to do a movie like this, it's going to be all symbolic. I think that's the wrong way to go. I think you'd have to make it equally toxic on both. It would have to be even Steven, not, well, he infects her and then that's why she does it, you know? But beyond that, I don't really see this as being a fun or interesting movie to watch. It just seems like maybe it would work as a short film or as part of, say, like if you did a creep show kind of movie. Like if you did that kind of movie, maybe you could make this one of the stories and then, you know, refer back to it later. On its own, I don't think you could really sustain it. So, and it's just kind of over the top, you know, in terms of the message. I mean, what other message would there be at that point? You know, there's like no subtlety to it. It's like, oh, we're doing a horror movie about a toxic relationship, and this is what happens. I guess. You know, if it was a short movie, like a 5 to 10 minute long thing, maybe I'd be okay with it. For 90 minutes, I'm gonna get, like, I already know what's gonna happen, right? And this is the problem with a movie like this. you're gonna have to start doing the scenes with all the branches coming out of this dude inside of 5 to 10 minutes. You're gonna bore the hell out of me. All the little details about their relationship doesn't matter really because I already know what's gonna happen. And that's part of the problem. Like, you'd have to make the relationship at least as interesting as this, and that's a high bar because this is kind of crazy, and whatever normal-ish relationship stuff they had are just going to be boring and relationship stuff. I don't think you could make it interesting enough that you go then graduate to this, you know. So first act, they get together, they're in love, they move in together, maybe they get married, but it doesn't go well. Second act, this starts to happen. You'd have to do it by the second act. I mean, you're going to wait till the third act on this. There's no way anyone's going to sit through this movie, in my view. But second act, this starts to happen. They call the EMTs, and they're trying to deal with the physical embodiment of their toxic relationship. It just gets worse and worse. People start dying. The girl, the woman gets infected too, and then at the third act, it's those two fighting to the death, I guess. I mean, I guess if I was doing it as a Twilight Zone episode, the ending would be a bunch of people die around them. They have a fight, but in the end they come back together, and they're still a toxic couple. But they can't quit each other. The other version would be that someone comes to visit them and finds them so toxic they're just both like merged together in a weird growth, a weird cancerous growth, and then it's a big scream, the end. I'm not sure how you can end it after watching this for 90 minutes. Or they just break up and that's, they never speak of it again. I don't know. And then you're gonna do a bit in which he asks her, how many people have you been with, and then the implication, she's been with a lot of people. That doesn't really endear you towards her character. That he's starting the toxicity doesn't endear you to his character. Who am I supposed to root for in this? This is the part of the problem with doing a movie like this too, with like sort of like the War of the Roses. Who do you root for? You know, you can't make one or the other win. Not really. Not in a movie that is symbolically about relationships. You can't have one side win. You can't say, well, the man wins. That would be symbolically telling everyone men aren't the problem in relationships, and the opposite is also not true. So the only way to end a symbolic type movie like this is they're both at fault to one degree or another. And in a horror movie, probably both gotta die, I would say. It wouldn't make any sense for one of them to survive. Not if it's this kind of symbolism. It'd be different if, like, he met a witch. Well, then the witch would die, or seemingly die, and then, would somehow reappear again in another location with starting another relationship. Then you could blame it all on the witch. Same thing if the guy was some sort of supernatural creature or whatever. Yeah, it's a weird pitch. Not sure how entertaining this would be. I mean, and because you're going to essentially present this as like, oh, he did some stuff and she did some stuff, like, you're not really going to have that discussion I think you're thinking you're going to have. Like in War of the Roses, maybe you're going to have that discussion in a movie like that, or a movie like Don Juan, and other movies that center on relationships. So it's a weird mix. probably not the way I would go. But would I watch it? Probably not, but I might check it out. If someone said it was good, I might check it out, and then I'd be very curious if people came away with this. Oh no, it's really good. Because I would be like, man, they must have had an amazing script to make this work. Let's read the write-up. Maybe I can be convinced. When Dakota tries to break off her toxic relationship with Axel, it starts transforming him into a monstrous creature. See, it makes it seem like it's his fault. He gradually succumbs to the poison of the decaying relationship to become a creature with increased aggression, a touch that melts skin, and worst of all, he's contagious. Yeah, I don't think you can make it work. A relationship encompasses two people. Yes, one person can be at fault, but it's not a real relationship. It's a movie, and you're presenting. You'd have to present it, and you should do this in the trailer too. That he's a jerk, and that she blinded herself to that, and she's better, but then got corrupted. Maybe you could make it work then, but in this presentation, it seems like they're more symbolically a couple. So, yeah, it's weird. Like, if it was that Axel, had a bunch of bad relationships in the past, and she thought, oh, I can change it. And then you introduce the one thing where it's like, well, she slept around with a lot of different people, and he discovers that. That's a point in his favor, not hers. That's not something you just say, oh, well, he should get over that. No, not necessarily. Very not necessarily, I would say. There'd be very few ways you could justify that, and not say that she was bringing something to the table that was pretty bad and toxic in the relationship. So I don't know. I think you needed something more here to explain it, because the symbology is going to probably not resonate with half your audience, at least, and a lot of the women won't either. I think it'll, and women don't like horror movies in general. So who's this movie for? You think a guy's going to take his date? Oh, let me go on a date. A teenager typically is going to take a date to a horror movie, and she's going because she doesn't really like horror movies, but she's going because she likes to go on a date, and so they go. Now, are they going to pick a movie like this? Are you going to pick a movie about a guy who's bad to his girl? No. That would be the worst movie to pick. Especially a horror movie? You're just not going to pick this. You can pick something else. Anything else. So who's this for? Women? Women generally don't like horror. There are some who like it. There's some horror gals out there. Single horror fan females, it's not a big audience. So, weird pitch, weird everything. But that being said, if someone told me that it was even a little good, I might watch it just to see if you could make this thing work. But I have a sneaking suspicion it just kind of can't. But you never know. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D. and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say, take it. I will be tomorrow at the Medford Historical Society Country Day event. This is from 12 to 4 over there at the Old Mill in Medford, New Jersey. That's that big red building near the river. You know the one I mean. Kirby's Mill. That's it. Kirby's Mill. So hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.